This was a gift from some friends of mine, and I'm going to use it to capture this storm's force and ferocity within this here box. It is a treasure box, and as you may know or may not, I treasure this storm. I treasure it greatly. You might even say I covet it. Right, kitty? Yeah? Yeah. So last night I had this dream where I was at the family reunion of my ex. It's his family. And I had this strange car that I drive in my dreams. It's not my real car at all. It has many different qualities. It's a white car, not unlike this car. It was like, I used to have a white Saab, and I loved that car. It was very cool. I sold it though, because where I was in my life I had to. But where I had to go back, I probably would not. And it was well made. I bet it would still run to this day. Probably not. Yeah, probably not. 9 years later. 10 years. Yeah, that was when I got it 10 years ago. So, in my dream, once upon a time I was in this dream, and the car's pedals had boots that you had to put your feet into. And, like, that's difficult enough. Alright? And I was trying to get somewhere, and it was leading me, like, from Baytown. I was trying to go to North Shore, but it forced you off the highway of I-10, so you would be going more north. And there was never a road that turned to the left. And I had this dream again a few weeks back, except it was coming from the other way, and it was right, and there was no way to turn right. And in that dream, the car was getting smaller, and like my leg was hanging out the car, and I had to get out of it because it became so small. It just kept getting smaller till it was gone. The car was gone. The fucking car was gone. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So last night I'm at this family reunion with my ex. Get in this box, Storm. Please. I adjure you. You adjure me back? So be it. So, I'm looking at the car, and the tire was completely flat. Like, it was like stretched and flat. Which was weird. You know? And I got into a fight with one of her relatives, cussing them out because they were being an asshole. And I remember her telling me, put this in there, the blood tile, if it fits. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, well then it won't. And then, there's other things. She had told me with her new fella, whose name was Mike, the day before. And I just got infuriated. Just mad. Like, you bitch! Because I don't know who Mike is. I knew who the other one was, but what do I know? Could be Mike. And I stormed off, and I tried to get home with my flat tire. You know, in the dream world, that's just a weird situation to have to mitigate. The flat tire that's stretched out, because it wasn't fix the flat gonna fix it. No, there wasn't fix a flat to fix that. But then I did get home, and I came home, and it was just like it is here, except this was upstairs, and there were stairs going down. And my dad was cooking. The kitchen was on the other side. It's completely reversed. And I could hear the pots going like sort of that sound, but like a frying skillet, the smell of food. And I'm like, what are you cooking? And he pulled from behind something that's like that baffle there, a spoon. And on the spoon, there was peas, carrot, corn. It said mixed vegetables from the bag. And that's what it was cooking. And I looked down out the door and I saw right up on a bike this kid from middle school, Alvarado. And because he had this weird big head. And I looked at him and he looked at me, and then I woke up. And that's how you catch a storm in the treasure box.